Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is my great pleasure to stand before you today where I represent my country, Jordan, and our organization, Generations for Peace. This week has been a great opportunity for all of us to come together from all over the world to share our experiences, to build new relationships, and to strengthen existing ones. In Jordan, as His Majesty King Abdullah said, we have always punched above our weight. As a nation and as people, we always stood strong in the face of challenges, be it economical, geopolitical, or social. We have always bore the weight of the wars around us. With humility and dignity, we have always had our doors, hands, and more importantly, our hearts open for those looking for refuge. Let me start by telling a story of an incredible Jordanian woman whom I've had the privilege of meeting 2 years ago. Her name is Rula. She serves in Jordan's Royal Medical Services. On November 9th, 2005, she went to a wedding party along with her little niece. Just like any young woman, she told me, she went to celebrate and to look beautiful. The hotel she went to was one of 3 targets hit by terrorists on that day. 57 people died. Jordan hasn't seen such an attack for quite some time. For many of us in Jordan, terrorism was something that happened elsewhere, but not to us, not to Jordan. Rula's little niece left us on that day. She remembers her lying next to her as if she's asleep. Rula lost her consciousness after part of the roof fell on her. She told me that because of the explosion, her handbag landed next to the body of another victim. It was assumed then that the body belonged to Rula. Her family was contacted and informed that Rula is dead. Many bodies were unidentifiable. The family began preparations for the funeral. Later that night, they get a phone call. It was a case of mistaken identity. Rula is still alive, but is in critical condition. Rula survived. She still has shrapnel in her skull and her spine. She got treatment in Jordan and abroad. Rula went to King's College in London. She got a master's degree in the rehabilitation of spinal cord injuries. She came back to Jordan to teach. She is now a major in the Jordanian Army's Royal Medical Services. She teaches nurses. She says, the terrorists destroy and I rebuild. When she was telling me her story, I teared up. She didn't. She showed power. And more importantly, she showed resilience. I felt small in her presence. She refuses to use the word victim. She says, I am a survivor. Rula says, if she accepts that she's a victim, then the terrorists have won. To me, she became the Jordanian phoenix. She rose from the ashes, literally. And her story is the story of Jordan, a story of survival. I told this story to highlight the importance of storytelling and the narratives we use in our fight against extremism and the expression of that extremism in violent forms. To me, this story represents a narrative of resilience. We need such narratives, narratives of hope, narratives of peace. We, at Generations for Peace, work for hope, for inspiration, and realizing our youth's potential. The story of our name has 3 interrelated parts. First, it's a tribute to the late King Hussein, heritage of peace building, who used to say, I work for peace for my children and my children's children. King Abdullah, our king, and Prince Faisal, his brother, our founder and chairman, continue to carry this message of peace. So it's a commitment of the Hashemite to peace from generation to generation. Second, it's a reflection of a deep-rooted belief that peace is a noble cause. and that this cause is not easily achievable. If it was, there would be no need for people like us. Our name is a reflection of our commitment to peace and the belief that achieving peace is a generational process. Thirdly, the name reflects our model as a volunteer movement. Knowledge and values are passed from one generation of volunteer to another. So as an organization, our goal is, as our motto says, to pass it on. We are a global organization with Jordanian roots. We are a reflection of Jordan. Our roots are local, but our message is a global one. Our messengers come from all over the world. They are our volunteers, our ambassadors, our army of peace and for peace. With them, we wage peace every day. Our journey started 10 years ago as a peace through sports organization. However, as we experienced different contexts of conflict, we extended our toolbox to include arts, advocacy, dialogue, and empowerment. This expansion is a reflection of our journey from passion to impact. Our work has now reached 50 countries, and we have trained over 10,000 volunteers. To those of you who are familiar with the Middle East, they know that the word peace comes with a lot of baggage in our area. But we carry the badge of peace proudly. We are unabashedly peace builders. It is this process of building peace culture at the grassroots level that will help us to lay the foundation for sustainable peace. We do that through living our 4 values. Armed with a more complex understanding of tolerance, we have moved beyond the more familiar passive form of tolerance to adopt active tolerance as a more meaningful and impactful value. Here I quote Thomas Paine, who said, "Toleration is not the opposite of intolerance, but the counterfeit of it. Both are despotisms. The one assumes to itself the right of withholding the liberty of conscience, the other of granting it." Active tolerance is about engaging and celebrating difference, in finding value in diversity. For us, the word tolerance in and by itself is null, void, and disengaging. Active tolerance is an act of love, of embracing difference, and more importantly, about providing the space to experience such difference. William E. Connolly said, "To be ethical is often to put identity to some degree at risk." For that risk to be taken, we need that space. Through our work at GFP, we constantly aim to provide that space, both physically and psychologically. Our second value is youth empowerment and youth leadership. We believe that our youth are not only the future, they are the present. They are not a demographic time bomb. They are not a challenge. Youth represent hope and opportunity. They do not need gray-haired men in dark suits telling them what they should do. They simply need to be trusted, and they will deliver. Our third value is community empowerment. It is rooted in a belief that power exists within communities. And to harness that power, people need to feel that they belong. At Generations for Peace, we believe in investing in communities to build and maintain social cohesion, resilience, and trust. Responsible citizenship at the grassroots level is our fourth value. It starts when members of the community feel that they belong. This is when people start to invest their time and efforts. Citizenship becomes a way of life and a channel for actively contributing to what we call home. Service above self. That's what Rotarians stand for. Through service, we build trust. And we at Generations for Peace, we always say, our currency is trust. Our capital is a social one. We build relationships. We strengthen communities. We invest in hope. We work for the present just as we work for the future. Your commitment and achievements in promoting peace and tolerance are truly admirable and inspiring. But we need to do more. We need to build partnerships. It is by working together that we can truly make a difference. Thank you.